I was very angered by it, and feel like I want to do something against the bad guys.
But I think it was sad to like see like all that like scrap metal from the cars when like you saw the cars being ground.
Car. I mean, you got to travel long distance. I mean, there's not always going to be somewhere for you to plug your car into, especially if you're pulling into, say you pull into a hotel motel for the night. You know, you need. It says it needs to be charged for 8 hours in order for it to be at full power.
Just like I forget to charge my phone and computer, I'd forget to charge. That's a very valid point.
To tell, because I don't know enough about the electric car and how it works to make a judgment on it. But I know it wouldn't be practical for everything, despite the fact that it's environmentally friendly. I have family that lives 6 hours away, and you don't get a charge on an electric car. That'll take you 6 hours away. So there's a lot of other things there. Yeah, it's nice that it's green, but there's certain other practical issues that came into play, I'm sure, as well. I don't know enough, though, about the electric cars to say one way or another whether it was a good or bad thing.
Safety issue, because so many people text and talk on the cell phones
while driving.
And you're so vulnerable when you're on a bicycle.
That is
in
a
the
good.
morning, people are rushing to work, and so the safety issue would be a concern.
I love to ride my bicycle. I no longer run, but I now ride my bike for exercise, and I feel vulnerable, and I'm afraid of an injury caused by a car striking me, cutting me off, or causing me to fall on a regular roadway where I share the road with cars. In my ride from East Greenwich to Narragansett, I try to go the back roads as often as I can.
No matter how you look at it, even if there is the separate lane for the bicycle, it's still going to be somewhat dangerous. I mean, you have bikes on the road with cars. However, in a big city, I think that's perfectly fine. I mean, it's hectic. I mean, honestly, if I lived in a big city, I wouldn't really be worried too much whether or not if I had a car. I'd be, I could, walk block to block, take the subway, take a taxi, things like that. So, I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's still going to be dangerous no matter how you look at it.
I would love to have a resource-friendly, natural resource-friendly vehicle, but I need size, and I don't think right now there are many caravan-like products that have batteries and alternative resources in terms of charging and driving the engine. If I had the option of riding from East Greenwich to Narragansett where I work, I would, depending on how my dressing and so on, because I have to appear in court, I would ride my bike, and if the weather permitted, I would ride my bike 80% of the time.
No, but if we definitely all have the same classes, or if we know people with similar times, that we could schedule a carpool.
That would be smart.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, like, even if, the oil supply is low, I don't feel the effects of it here, so I don't think about it. I mean, I love to drive just for fun.
If you have more people in electric cars and biking, the economy will probably go down because of the oil industry. Definitely. So then it won't be good.
There's a lot of problems with riding the bus. I mean, yes, it can be convenient, it's nice, but I mean, there's some weirdos on the bus. Let's face it. And then planning your entire schedule around the bus. Like, I have 8 a.m. classes that I have to take the bus at 6:30, and I have to get up, 6:30 in the morning to take the bus. I mean,
is the bus ever late?
This bus is sometimes late. Sometimes it's early, and you miss it. Like, they're not supposed to do these kind of things, but they do. So I mean, those are the risks with taking the bus, and then that's the problem. Like, if you have like a later class or you're working late, I mean, sometimes you can't just hop out and go to the bus and go home. You have to wait an hour or two, and then that's just really inconvenient to me. I mean, I do what I have to do for now, but I would rather not take the bus.
Bicycle. Well, I kind of went green unintentionally. My car was actually totaled, so I catch the bus. And I refused to get a car.
So now you refuse to get one, huh?
Well, I can't say it was originally because I was going green. It was kind of being stubborn. But $2-3 a day. I mean, I'm kind of liking it a little bit. It's a little bit inconvenience, but it's not a bad deal.
It is. I've already chosen to live closer to work so that I'm not doing as much driving. And if I were to live any closer than I am now, I'd certainly consider being more likely to walk or bike to work. But that's a big reason for me not moving farther away from you.